There is something nobody really tells you about being a good person. Sometimes being good can be exhausting. Sometimes you can have a good heart, genuinely care about people always, try to do the right thing and still find yourself wondering, why am I the one suffering? You help people when they need you. You listen when they have problems. You forgive people who hurt you. You make excuses for people because you understand that everybody is fighting their own battles. You show up for people even when you are not okay yourself. And sometimes when you are the one who needs someone to show up for you, nobody comes. That part of being a good person doesn't get talked about enough. We are always told be kind, help people, forgive, love people, don't be selfish. And yes, these are beautiful qualities. But nobody tells you that if you don't learn how to set boundaries, some people will turn your kindness into an opportunity to use you. And that is where many good people get tired. You start giving and giving and giving. Your time, your money, your energy, your attention, your forgiveness, your understanding. And before you realize it, you have become so busy taking care of everybody else that you have completely forgotten yourself. You become the person everybody calls when they have a problem. But when you have a problem, your phone becomes strangely quiet. You are always available for everyone. But when you need someone, suddenly everybody is busy. And the painful part is that you don't even want much. You don't need someone to solve your entire life. Sometimes you just want somebody to ask, "Are you okay?" and actually mean it. Sometimes you want someone to notice that the person who is always smiling is tired too. The person who always says "I'm fine" may not actually be fine. The person who is always encouraging everybody else may also need encouragement. The person who is always strong may also want someone to say, "You don't have to be strong today, I've got you." But when you are known as the strong one, people sometimes forget that you have feelings too. They get so used to your kindness that they stop appreciating it. And this is something you have to learn. Being a good person does not mean you have to be available to everybody. You can love people and still have boundaries. You can forgive somebody and still decide not to give them access to you again. You can understand someone's situation without allowing them to take advantage of you. You can be kind without saying yes to everything. And most importantly, you can choose yourself without becoming a bad person. There is a difference between being selfish and taking care of yourself. Selfishness is when you don't care about how your actions affect other people. Self-care is understanding that you matter too. You cannot keep pouring from an empty cup. You cannot keep giving what you don't have. You cannot keep destroying your own peace just to make everybody else comfortable. And you shouldn't have to. Sometimes you have to say no. And guess what? Some people will be angry. Some people will say you've changed. Some people will tell others that you are no longer the person you used to be. Let them talk, because sometimes the person they miss is not the real you. They miss the version of you that had no boundaries. They miss the version of you that always said yes. They miss the version of you that would cancel your plans to help them. They miss the version of you that would keep forgiving them, no matter how many times they hurt you. They miss the version of you they could easily access. But you are allowed to grow. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to realize that some relationships are draining you. You are allowed to stop chasing people. You are allowed to stop explaining yourself. You are allowed to walk away from situations that constantly steal your peace. And you don't have to feel guilty about it. Because being a good person doesn't mean being a person without limits. Sometimes good people stay too long because they are afraid of hurting someone else's feelings. They stay in friendships that have become one-sided. They stay in relationships where they are constantly disrespected. They keep helping family members who never appreciate them. They keep giving chances to people who have already shown them who they are. Why? Because they think walking away makes them a bad person. But listen carefully. You can have a good heart and still walk away. You can wish someone well from a distance. You don't have to hate someone just because you no longer want them in your life. You don't have to fight. You don't have to insult them. You don't have to expose their secrets. You can simply say, "This relationship is no longer healthy for me, so I need to step away," and walk away peacefully. Another difficult part about being a good person is that sometimes you will be misunderstood. You can have good intentions and someone can still see you as the villain. You can help someone and they can still complain about the one thing you didn't do. You can give someone your best and they can still say you weren't enough. And that hurts, especially when you genuinely tried. But you have to understand something. You cannot control how people interpret your heart. You can only control your intentions and your actions. Don't spend your entire life trying to convince people that you're a good person. The people who truly know you will know. And the people who have already decided to misunderstand you may never believe you anyway. So stop exhausting yourself trying to prove your heart to people. Let your character speak for you. Another thing nobody talks about is how lonely it can feel when you are always the one doing the understanding. You understand their bad mood. You understand their mistakes. You understand why they couldn't call. You understand why they forgot. You understand why they couldn't help. You understand why they hurt you. But who understands you? At some point you have to stop being the only person making excuses for everybody else. Because understanding people should not mean abandoning yourself. You deserve understanding too. You deserve patience too. You deserve kindness too. You deserve someone who checks on you. You deserve people who celebrate you without secretly competing with you. You deserve friendships where you don't always have to be the one reaching out. You deserve relationships where you don't have to beg for basic respect. And you deserve peace. Please don't allow the disappointments you've experienced to turn your heart cold. That's another trap. You get hurt so many times that you start thinking, I'm never helping anybody again. But don't let bad people change the good person you are. Instead, become wiser. There is a difference between being good and being naive. Be kind but be observant. Help people but don't destroy yourself helping them. Love people but don't lose yourself trying to keep them. Forgive people but learn from what happened. Give people chances but don't give unlimited access to your heart. And remember this. Your kindness should be a gift, not a debt people are entitled to collect. You don't owe everybody your energy. You don't owe everybody an explanation. You don't owe everybody access to your life. And you definitely don't have to feel guilty for protecting your peace. If you have been the person who always gives, always helps, always forgives, and always says, I'm okay, I want you to hear this today. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to ask for help. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to choose yourself. You are allowed to leave. And you are allowed to become a better version of yourself without apologizing for it. Being a good person is beautiful, but being a good person should not mean being available for people to hurt you repeatedly. So keep your good heart. Just give it wisdom. Keep loving, but love yourself too. Keep helping, but don't forget yourself. Keep forgiving, but don't ignore the lessons. And most importantly, never allow somebody else's inability to appreciate you to make you question your worth. Because sometimes the people you helped will forget what you did. Sometimes the people you stood by will walk away. Sometimes the people you defended will be the same people who misunderstand you. And sometimes you will have to walk alone for a while. But that doesn't mean you made a mistake by being good. It simply means you are learning that kindness needs boundaries. Love needs wisdom, and peace sometimes requires distance. So if nobody has told you today, let me tell you. You don't have to destroy yourself to prove that you have a good heart. Be good, be kind, be loving. But remember, you matter too. And maybe that's the side of being a good person that nobody talks about enough.